Hello, everyone. I'm back to read another Choose Your Own Adventure book, as I always do on Tuesday nights. So this one is Choose Your Own Adventure number 137, Scene of the Crime. And it's written by Doug Wilhelm. Right, and here's the cover art. Looks like these guys got caught red-handed. They're like, he's taking a picture, and I'm not sure what that is that she's holding. I'm not sure what. Oh, it's a microphone, or oh, it's like a recording, like microphone equipment. Okay, I get it. All right. Hello, Rachel. All right, we'll read the back cover. You're the star. 11 exciting endings. Can you stop a conspiracy from destroying your town? Your small hometown has always been fairly quiet. That is, until plans are revealed to build a huge new mall there. At first you're excited as everyone else, but then you overhear a mysterious conversation that makes you suspect that something fishy is going on. The town council is meeting in just a few hours to decide whether to approve the final plans for the mall. Should you go to the police and tell them what you heard? Or would it be better to speak up at the town council meeting yourself? If you go to the police, turn to page 53. If you attend the town council meeting, turn to page 30. Choose carefully. You may have trouble getting either the police or the town council to listen to you, but if you can convince them and your suspicions turn out to be right, you'll be the town hero. Wow, sounds really exciting, getting into like small town politics. Whew. Can't wait. Did Stranger Things get their plot from this book? Yeah. I'm sure like Stranger Things, they never mentioned Choose Your Own Adventure books. Probably didn't want to call attention to like Choose Your Own Adventure books, and then people would realize that they probably got a lot of the stories from Choose Your Own Adventure books. All right. Yeah, choose carefully. You may have trouble getting either the police or the town council to listen to you, but if you can convince them... Yeah, I already said all that. Okay. What happens next in the story? It all depends on the choices you make. How does the story end? All you can find out. And the best part is that you can keep reading and rereading until you've had not one, but many incredibly daring experiences. Hi, Sue. Only if the town hero is an amazing babysitter. I wonder if there's like... Wasn't there a series of books about babysitters?
Don't.
Is it? Well, no.
Don't insult us.
What? What do you mean? And of course, kids can't stop reading the Choose Your Own Adventure series, and teachers love them too. Scene of the Crime by Doug Wilhelm. Illustrated by Tom LaPadula. Ooh, the Young Indiana. I gotta get those Indiana Jones Chronicles. Maybe those are good. That sounds exciting. You can see here in the book, it has the Choose Your Own Adventure books, and then it has like Young Indiana Jones Chronicles. Babysitters Club, right. Right, and this was originally published in July 1993. For Christopher Wilhelm. Sorry, can't talk well today. The cover art is by Bill Dodge, and the interior illustrations are by Tom LaPadula. So, this is Tom Dodge. Bill Dodge. The name's trouble with Chris. Coming soon at this site, Maple Grove Mall. 97 stores. No trespassing. Man, that feels like 1993. It feels like where I grew up. It feels like it was that time. It's like the same thing was going on in my town where they were like just like building malls everywhere. Like one day it was like someone's old farm, and then the next day it was a Trader Joe's. Warning, do not read this book straight through from beginning to end. These pages contain many different adventures that you may have as you try to get to the bottom of a conspiracy brewing in your peaceful hometown. From time to time, as you read along, you'll have a chance to make a choice. Your choice may lead to success or disaster. The adventures you have are the results of your choices. You are responsible because you choose. After you make your decision, follow the instructions to find out what happens to you next. Think carefully before you act. The people you're up against are ruthless, and they'll do almost anything to make sure their plans are carried out. You're the only one who knows what they're up to, but can you stop them? This mall is now abandoned. Think carefully before you act. The people you're up against are ruthless, and they'll do almost anything to make sure their plans are carried out. You're the only one who knows what they're up to. Wow, I'm reading that whole thing again. Oh, sorry. If you try, you'll have to be ready for anything. Bribery, kidnapping, even murder. What? So you might have to murder people? You might. Just be ready. You might have to murder people, kids.
I'm ready.
Like 12-year-olds like, oh, murder. Sounds like fun. I can't wait to murder people, Mom. Coming soon. This kid's not going to be able to murder anybody. What are you talking about? Coming soon at this site, Maple Grove Mall. 97 stores. No trespassing. There we are with our bike. Right. Summer is almost over, and you've just returned home from a six-week visit with your grandparents. It was a lot of fun, but you're glad to get back to Grantshire, Vermont, your hometown. Is that a real place, Grantshire? I'll have to look that up afterwards. It sounds real, but it sounds made up. Okay. The morning after you get home, you ride your bike out to the big empty lot at the edge of town. To most folks in Grantshire, it's just a raggedy stretch of grass and trees, but you and your friends call it the old ballpark. You know its hiding places and its secret trails, and you know the open field where base paths have been worn through the weedy grass by years of kids playing ball. Your imagination has turned the old lot into the scene of many childhood adventures, from Fenway Park, home of your beloved Boston Red Sox, to the wild jungles of the Amazon, to a tropical island rich with pirate gold. But when you ride up to the lot, you get a terrible shock. Staring you in the face is a large sign. Coming soon at this site. Maple Grove Mall, 97 stores. No trespassing. I think I've said that like 10 times now. Well, hi, Stephanie. The first hit is this book, so I think it's not a real place. Okay. It's one of those things where it sounds like it could be a real place, but where's the Choose Your Own Adventure about visiting your grandparents for 6 weeks? I guess nothing much happens there. I wonder if the crime is racism. Yeah. There might be some racism in this book. It's still early days, so we'll find out. You can't believe your eyes. You turn your bike around and pedal fast to the office of Hornbeck Real Estate, where your mother works. When you run inside, she's talking on the phone, but when she sees your face, she hangs up immediately. What is it? She asks you. Mom, they're going to bulldoze our ballpark. Oh, I'm sorry, honey. I should have told you, she says. But just think, a big indoor mall. You know, your friends are pretty excited about it. You shrug. Yeah, I guess that could be cool. But why did they have to build it on our ballpark? A few blocks away, you find your best friends, Corey and Kate, sitting on Corey's front porch. Corey jumps up and smiles when he sees you. Hey, welcome home. Hi, guys, you say. Did you hear about the new mall? It's going to be great, says Kate. I bet it'll have a big electronics store. And a video arcade and a record store and a pizza place, Corey adds. At last, somewhere decent to hang out. I guess so, you say. But I wish they'd picked a different place to build it. Not in my old ballpark yard. Go on to the next page. Rachel's brother is in this book. Okay. Hey, these guys do whatever they want to, wherever they want to, Corey shrugs. It's not safe to get in their way. What does Corey know? He has like some inside knowledge here. What do you mean, you ask? Corey hands you a copy of the Grantshire Observer, the local weekly newspaper. Read this. You take the paper from him, and the headline catches your eye. It reads, Town Councilman Disappears. Frank Sorrell was Mall's lone opponent. Love an appointment. Turn to page 4. It's like how I care. Where, yeah, like my high school, like the front entrance, the back of the high school where I went, the place where I went to high school. It's the back of the school is now the front entrance. Like, yeah, still remember that. You scan the article and learn that the Grantshire Town Council is about to decide whether to give the Maple Grove Mall project the go-ahead. The only council member who was against it was Frank Sorrell, a retired New York City police detective. Good. No, I was kidding. But last week, Sorrell went on a 2-day fishing trip, and he hasn't come back. Well, maybe he's sleeping with the fishes now. Wah, wah. At this point, police do not suspect foul play, the newspaper reports, but the councilman's daughter, New York attorney Andrea Sorrell, is reportedly coming to Grantshire to investigate. Turn to page 25. This is riveting. Actually, this is kind of riveting. Kind of reminds me of, like, my childhood. You spend the rest of the day thinking about the mall. You wonder if it's possible that the mall developers took Frank Sorrell out of the way. You can't believe that kind of thing could happen in Grantshire. Later that evening, you head back to Corey's house. You want to talk this over with him. You decide to take the secret shortcut to his yard. You cut through the Grantshire Market's parking lot. The supermarket is closed. You climb a chain-link fence at the back of the lot, then swing onto the overhanging branch of the big old apple tree in Corey's backyard. You're about to jump down from the tree into the yard when a long, dark car with its headlights off comes around the back corner of the supermarket. You stop and watch as the car comes to a stop, a few feet from your perch. Its motor is running. Are you sure this isn't Pawnee, Indiana? Yeah, Corey will be like, no, it's too dangerous, dude. Don't change the town flag. What's wrong with this town flag? It's great. It's got a picture of, like, some Indians, and they're, like, shaking hands with, the settlers. It's great. It's a sign of good things to come. All right. Its motor is running. A moment later, a second car, a battered white sedan, pulls up beside the first car. Turn to page 9. Oh, here's a close-up of us climbing the chain-link fence. Should be a person fighting and losing to a wild animal. That would be funny. Why does that keep moving? Oh, that's why. Okay. All right. It's like, okay. All right. Turn to page 9. Be young, do crime. Time to do some crimes. Both cars' lights are off, but both engines remain running. You notice that both cars have radio antennas with odd squiggly things in the middle that look like sections of a notebook spiral. You hear a whir as the dark car's push-button window lowers. The driver of the white car cranks down his window. You can just see his face, and you recognize him as Town Councilman Art Collins. Collins talks cheerfully, in a gravelly voice. Trying to hear better, you crawl very slowly out along the tree's lower branch. You lie very still, hugging the branch as you listen. We're very close, you hear Collins say. It's all going to pay off. Good, says a man's voice from the dark car, because it has to. Now a hand emerges from the dark car. It holds a thick manila envelope. Councilman Collins takes the envelope and nods. We'll do this one more time, right? Says Collins. The night after the vote. That'll be the big payment. Yes, says the other voice. We'll make the connection in the same way. Collins rolls up his window and drives out of the parking lot. The dark car waits a few minutes. Then it leaves too. The Emperor was in the car. Good. No, when I saw good about it, I was like, is that like Emperor Palpatine? Good. Good. All right, sorry. Then it leaves too. Turn to page 46. Where's he got his reruns from Inspector Gadget. So where's like Penny and Brain, right? The dog that like it's like is it like his niece or something that like solves all the crimes? And the dog. All right, page 46. What's funny about that show, Inspector Gadget, is the guy that did the voice of Inspector Gadget was the actor who was in who was the main character in that show Get Smart, which is all about like he had like shoe phones and things like that. So something like I didn't realize as a kid, but like years later. I've never seen the show Get Smart, but all right, page 46. Penny and Brain are Corey and Jenny or whatever her name is. Your mind is racing as you watch the dark car drive away. You almost can't believe what you've just seen and heard. First, a big money development is about to be approved by the town, when suddenly the only person who opposed the project disappears. Now, someone in a fancy car passes a thick envelope to a town councilman. You drop from the tree back into the parking lot and look around carefully, but the two cars have left no trace of their meeting. You just watched a payoff, a bribe. You're sure of it, and you are the only witness. You've got to do something, but what? You decide not to talk to anyone, not even Corey, until you figure out what to do. Walking home in the dark, you come up with 3 possible courses of action. Go on to the next page. You could go to the Grantshire Observer and tell the editor what you have just heard, or you could find Andrea Sorrell, the daughter of the missing councilman. If she's come up from New York City, she must suspect something too. Or you could round up Corey and Kate. No one knows this town better than the 3 of you. Yeah, right. How come we didn't know about the payoff then? No one knows this town better than the 3 of you. Maybe you and your friends could solve this mystery on your own, though right now, you're not so sure how. If you go to the Observer, turn to page 10. If you try to find Andrea Sorrell, turn to page 28. If you round up your friends, all 2 of them, turn to page 71. Corey and Kate. Should you round up our friends? I would never print anything this kid said. Yeah, I just saw something. I was in a tree, and then these 2 cars came, and they passed an envelope, and the guy said, good, and yeah. Can you print that? Every boy traveling to a mall in the 80s was named Corey. Round them up. Round up the usual suspected friends. All right, we're going to round them up. Round them up. Page 71. You, Corey, and Kate have tackled plenty of problems together in the past. You decide to enlist their help with this mystery. The next morning, you meet them at the old ballpark. The 3 of you sit beneath a clump of birch trees and gaze out at the weedy lot as you tell them the whole story. You're sure that's what you've heard? Corey asks. Positive. How do you know the guy in the white car was a town councilman? Asks Kate. Because I recognized him, you say. I got a good look at him. It was Collins. I'm sure of it. Okay, say something illegal is going on, Corey says. What can we do about it? We can get evidence, you say. Real, solid evidence. How? Asks Kate. You study your friends. Corey is the quick thinker in your little group, the one you want with you in a tight spot. Kate has a real talent for technology. She's a whiz with any gadget she can get her hands on. We can do it, you say, but we need a strategy. So let's think. What do we know so far? There we are in the forest. Yeah, it's funny, like looking at this, I can't tell like which one, who's who. Like I can't tell which one is Kate, or us, or Corey. Sure, which is kind of cool. What kid would know their councilman? Maybe in a small town like that, everybody knows each other, so like everybody knows all the councilmen. Oh, the middle one is smallest. Okay, so that must be her. Turn to page 111. I'm an adult and I don't know my councilman. Yeah. I didn't know my councilman. Page 111. We know one councilman is missing, says Corey. We know Councilman Collins is involved in some sneaky way, says Kate. We know there's been a passing of envelopes. We know there'll be one more pass. The big one, you add. Right. We're pretty sure the main guy is the one who drives that long, dark car. We know he met Collins behind the Grantshire Market. And, you add, they said they'd make the connection again, in the usual way. Which probably means behind the Grantshire Market, says Corey. We could stake it out. Kate looks excited. Why not? If all three of us say we saw them, that'd count for something, right? I guess so, you answer, but Collins said he'd pick up the final payment the night after the vote. How will we know when that is? I happen to know, says Kate, that the town council is voting tonight on approving them all. With that one councilman out of the way, it's a cinch they'll give it the go-ahead. How do you happen to know that, you ask? I happen to read the town newspaper, Kate answers. The newspaper, Corey muses. That gives me another idea. Call 867-5309. No, it won't. Yeah, no, it won't count if you all say that. It's not going to help. Return to page 72. What is it, you ask? Well, Corey says, wouldn't you like to find out more about Collins and this dark car guy? Maybe we can really get the goods on them. Do kids talk like that in the early 90s? I don't think so. Getting the goods. They don't talk about doing a stakeout and getting the goods on people. Okay, so. How? Asks Kate. We do a story on the mall for the Grantshire Observer, Corey says. That'll let us ask questions without getting anyone suspicious. But why would the paper let 3 kids be reporters? Corey grins. Kids in town want to know about this mall, right? So why shouldn't the town paper want a story about the mall from the kids' point of view? It's not a bad idea, says Kate, except for one thing. If these guys pass their final bribe tomorrow night, and we don't witness it, we might lose our one big chance to catch them in the act. That's true, I guess, Corey says. He turns to you. What do you think? Should we just stake out the parking lot tomorrow night, or try to become investigative reporters? If you decide to stake out the parking lot, turn to page 102. If you want to try to become reporters, turn to page 82. I would not read a story written about kids about what to think of the mall. Dark car guy. I have a name. He's just dark car guy for the whole story. Like, never find out who he is. If you want, so we know we can do a stakeout of the parking lot, right? But we can only like try to become reporters. I'm not feeling like that's not giving me like a lot of confidence here. It's probably one of our parents. Oh, wouldn't that be funny? Mom, it was you all along. Oh my God. We should definitely stake out the parking lot and get killed like on the book cover. Okay, I guess it's unanimous. I guess we're doing a stakeout. Unless anyone thinks we should not do a stakeout. Yeah, I'm going to give you a stakeout, kid. I'm going to put a stake right through you. A stake through your heart. Alright, page 102. Let's go for the stakeout, you say. That seems like our best shot. At the appointed time, just before 9 p.m., you, Corey, and Kate meet in Corey's backyard. All the lights are still on at the market, you report, but it should be getting ready to close. Let's hope we're lucky and they show up, Kate says. Not lucky, smart, Corey says. I think we should pick a hiding place that'll get us close enough to see and hear what goes on. The lights went out off in the market, you interrupt. Let's get into position. What does that mean? Get into what position? Without another word, all three of you swing up into the apple tree. Okay. Turn to page 80, and here we are at the mall. That's such a weird pose. Looks like it's like an ad for kids kids jeans or something, you know? They're just trying to look super casual. One is like, I'm just looking at my watch. I'm just hanging out. Okay, turn to page 80. Someone elbowing her in the chest? Maybe. It's possible. Yeah, we don't have any equipment. Wait, I thought we were supposed to have equipment for this. We're just gonna show up and not record anything. That's really smart. Oh, Corey has a watch too. It's probably a swatch. He's got 3 swatches all along his arm. We may not have much time, you tell your friends. The 3 of you straddle a low branch of the tree so that you're overlooking the parking lot. There's not much to see down there, except a dark green dumpster. Behind it is a pile of large cardboard boxes. One of us should hide in those boxes, you decide. Yuck, says Kate. I'm not going in those slimy things. Okay, then you get the even tastier choice, you say. Which is? You smile and point to the dumpster. Forget it, says Kate. No conspiracy is worth that. All right, you answer. Kate, you stay up here. Corey, you hide in the boxes. I'll take the dumpster. Okay, let's hustle then, says Corey. The bad guys could arrive at any minute. You and Corey drop into the parking lot as Kate slips back into the branches. Turn to page 60. Time to hustle. It's a metal detector and a UFO scanner device purchased at 2 a.m. from a Fox infomercial. Page 60. You approach the dumpster nervously. Give me a boost, okay? You whisper to Corey. You place your foot in his cupped hands, push yourself up, and look in. To your dismay, the dumpster is nearly full. Oh well, you sigh. Here goes. You pull yourself over the rim and tumble in. Your sneakers land on something slippery and soft. Your left leg is wet. Suddenly, you hear a funny beeping sound coming from the parking lot. You peek over the rim of the dumpster. You see a pair of red taillights glowing as a garbage truck backs in. Stunned, you wonder for an instant what to do. If you jump out, the truck may not see you. You could be crushed. The truck is only a few yards away by now. Something moves above the truck, and you see Kate swing down on the branch and drop into the parking lot. She's trying to stop the truck, but it's backing up too fast. The truck's left rear corner smacks her full in the chest. She crumples to the pavement, and the truck keeps backing up. Oh my God. Turn to page 81. That's pretty terrible. So, we just got into the dumpster, and just then a dump truck comes? Come on. What are the odds of that happening? I hope we are crushed. They better have a picture of that, of us getting crushed by a dump truck. Turn to page 81. Kate, you scream. Hey, stop! But the beeping noise drowns out your voice. Just then, a second figure dashes out from behind the dumpster. It's Corey. He runs and flings himself up on the truck's running board and pounds on the driver's door. The truck stops. You heave yourself over the rim of the dumpster and drop to the ground. Kate is lying motionless, 2 inches from the truck's huge rear tire. Oh, God. Corey and the driver come running around the truck. They crouch beside you. Kate, you whisper. Kate! There's no answer. The trucker places a large hand gently on your friend's temple. She's got a good pulse. She's breathing okay. But she's out. Yeah, we can see that. He stands up. I'll radio for the rescue squad. They'll be here in 2 minutes. She'll be okay. What were you kids doing back there, anyway? Page 93. Stop attacking Kate's chest. I know. First, she's getting elbowed in the chest, and then, knocked in the chest by a dump truck. Puberty is a weird time when you get, hit in the chest with all sorts of different things. You just feel it report to check. Yeah, that's how you. That's how truckers check for dump trucks check for a pulse. You check the temple. Roughed up. Definitely got a pulse in her temple. That's where the pulse is, right? Yes, she's fine. Oh, you answer. We were just dumpster diving, says Corey. The trucker looks confused. Dumpster diving? Yeah, says Corey. You know, looking for good stuff. Oh, great, says the driver as he walks to his cab. This is going to make my job real interesting. As the driver radios for help, you look at Corey. Dumpster diving, you say? How do you think of these things? Corey smiles and shrugs. It's a talent, I guess. You shake your head. I guess we don't have much of a talent for crime solving, though. Maybe we should tell the police what you saw, Corey suggests. This is too big for the Grand Shire cops, you answer. Tomorrow morning, we're going to call the FBI. Corey whistles. Okay, he says, but you do the talking. Don't worry, you say with a smile. You're a bit nervous, but you can't wait to make that call. The end. Yeah. I'm going to call the Is there does the FBI have a direct number where anyone can just call the FBI? Hi, FBI. I know about something shady going on about a mall. And this guy passed him a little envelope, and then he was in a dark sedan. And how was that the end? I don't know. The only time I sort of did a dumpster dive is when someone threw away a whole bunch of old video games. It wasn't quite dumpster diving. Maybe that was the last time I did it. It's probably not the first time. Kids do stuff and nothing happened. And then they called the FBI and then still nothing happened. Alright, maybe... That was a lot of stuff for us to go through that didn't go anywhere. Wow. Was that all the only thing that was the only option we had when we decided to stake out the parking lot? I don't think there were any options after we decided to stake out the parking lot. Wow. Well, I guess we have to become reporters. I guess that's what the message is there. Unless we want to do something else. That wasn't sort of dumpster diving. That was dumpster diving. Oh, when I found those video games? I mean, there were some good Genesis games in there. There were a bunch of Sega Genesis games, and there was actually an actual Sega Genesis, and yeah, couldn't pass that up. I have a story about a friend of mine that starts with a dumpster diving in Spain and ends with her falling into a lion pit. Yikes. Hope we don't fall into any lion pits here. So I guess, do we want to become reporters? We want to do that option? Or we did have some other options earlier on about where we could go to the Observer, or we could try to find Andrea Sorrell. I guess they were okay when they fell into the lion pit. Well, hopefully. Yeah, we probably should become a journalist. All right. We will do that. Let's go with Corey's idea, you say. Being reporters could be fun. Three of you arrive downtown and approach the office of the Grant Shire Observer. Paint is peeling off the outside walls. This building could use a wrecking ball, Corey comments. Just then the screen door clatters open. A balding man rushes out, stuffing a mess of papers into a canvas shoulder bag. You try to step aside, but he isn't watching where he's going, and you both sprawl to the grass, the paper scattering all over. Oh no, my ad sheets! The man lunges after them. Corey and Kate chase the papers that are fluttering off in the breeze. Sorry about that, you say. Hey, it's my fault. Too much to do. I forget to look. Were you coming to see me? We were hoping to see the editor of the newspaper. That's me, Lou Millman. editor, reporter, publisher, and right now, advertising salesman. He shakes hands with each of you. Mr. Millman, says Corey, all the kids in town are talking about the plans for the new mall. They want to know what the mall would have for young people. And there he is. Oh, there he is, falling. That's a weird pose. Looks like we're like breakdancing or something. Looks like they're having a breakdancing competition, actually. Okay, turn to page 84. He forgot buffoon. Yeah, there's no way we got hit that hard. We're like, man. Okay. That's a good question, Millman says. Maybe I should do a story. Maybe we should do it for you, says Kate. Millman scratches his head. Not a bad idea, he says. I can't pay you anything, but if you come up with a great story, I'll print it. Great, you say. Can you give us some background information? Turn to page 26. Well, Corey, it is a mall, so that is what it has for kids. Yeah, remember when malls were such a big deal? Like, go hang out at the mall. All right. Sure, says Millman. Big city firm that wants to build the mall is called the Cairo Corporation. The people who run it are rich and powerful. Some say they're ruthless. Their local agent is Gil Strassen. You may have seen him around. Blonde-haired guy, wears nice suits. He drives that big black car, you say, trying to sound casual, right? That's him, says Millman, but he doesn't like reporters. Thinks we can't be trusted. You can try him, but I think your best source is a town councilman named Art Collins. You, Corey, and Kate trade glances. For some reason, Collins is a very big supporter of this mall, Millman says. He's been pulling for it all along. The council is voting on it tonight, by the way. Now, Art loves to talk. He works as a salesman, just about lives in his car. He calls everyone on his cellular phone. Millman's last words have given you an idea. Okay, you say. We'll get started. Thanks. You hustle Corey and Kate away. Wow, he has a cellular phone. That's pretty fancy. Sure, Millman calls after you. Call me if you need anything. Kate, you say, when you're out of earshot, does a little squiggle on a car antenna have anything to do with a cellular phone? Go on to the next page. Sure, she says. Only a cellular phone's car antenna has that squiggle. Why? Both Collins's and Strassen's cars had them. When they said that they talk again in the usual way, maybe they meant by car phone. Kate changes direction. Follow me, she says. Where are we going? Radio Cave. We're going to Radio Cave. Wow. Cellular phone. He must be pretty rich if he's got a cellular phone in his car. Turn to page 87. One of those big ass ones. Is this like the Cave of Time? Yeah. We end up actually going into the Cave of Time accidentally. Yeah, the whole book should be about cellular phones and Nintendo squiggles. Yeah, technology has progressed a little bit since then. Like nowadays, the kids would have cell phones. Like everyone would have a cell phone. They'd have it like solved like right away. You arrive at Radio Cave, a local electronics store. A few minutes later, a rumpled-looking young man with an impish face steps out of the back room. Hey, Kate, he says with a grin. This is Ted, Kate says to you and Corey. Ted's my technical consultant. All things technoid, that's me, says Ted. What are you into this time, Kate? Ted, is it possible to intercept a cellular phone's transmission, she asks. Well, yes. A cellular phone is a radio, transmitting on a radio frequency. you'd need a good wideband receiver. But you've got one of those, right? Yes. How could you find a particular phone signal? Ted frowns. I guess you just have to search, he says. If the caller had a distinctive voice, maybe you could do it. One thing, though, the other side of a cellular conversation comes in on a slightly different frequency. You'd only be able to hear the one person talking, not both, like on a regular phone. Says Kate. But once you find a person's frequency, you can monitor everything that was said from that phone, right? And he's like not questioning like why they wanted like why they're asking for this information. Oh, you want to eavesdrop on people's phone calls? That's cool. I used to do that sort of thing when I was your age. Just hook up to the telephone wire. It was so cool. Glad you kids are trying that out. My brain has checked out of this information. Sorry. What is Ted? I don't know. He's kind of giving me like some wrong vibes. I don't know. Turn to page 66. Not exactly, says Ted. You see, all calls by cellular phone in each 25-mile area are handled by one cell, or relay tower. That cell uses one slice of the radio spectrum, say, an inch on your dial. When a call comes through, the tower transmits it on a frequency within that slice. Okay, I can keep checking the frequencies across that slice, says Kate. Wouldn't I pick up the person's calls then? Probably, says Ted. In a country area like this, there aren't very many cellular calls, but you would be invading the person's privacy. It's not illegal to listen to the radio, but some people might not appreciate it. Maybe not, says Kate. But if someone is using a cellular phone to manage a criminal conspiracy, that's worse, right? Well, yeah. Using the airways for illegal activity is a federal offense. Very serious stuff. Ted studies Kate closely. What's going on, anyway? Oh, Kate begins. We're making up a story, says Corey. We're writing a play for school. Ted grins again. Getting a jump on next school year, eh? Well, good luck. The three of you say goodbye to Ted and leave the store. Somehow, says Kate, we've got to get one of those guys talking on his cellular phone so we can find that frequency range. Turn to page 50. Ted is the moral voice. You kids, you're not doing anything illegal, are you? I just want to help. Missed the glossary at the front of the book with yeah, this is like the actual book that could have used an actual glossary at the front. Man, that was like so dry and like I thought they were like going to give us like several pages of like information about how cellular phones work. Drink when anyone says cellular phone. That's a good idea. I know how we can do it, Corey says. We'll call one of our conspirators on his car phone. After all, we're reporters, right? We'll ask questions, and meanwhile Kate can work her scanner till she finds the frequency. Great idea, you say. Then Kate's scanner can pick up every call the guy makes. We'll crack the conspiracy wide open. Only one problem, says Kate. Cellular phones are private. Only the owner can give out his number. What? Cellular phones, phone numbers are private. There's no way to get those. Actually, that's true. I mean, you can't. I don't know. Corey shrugs. Let's ask Lou Millman. He goes to a payphone nearby. You see him dial, speak for a moment, then scribble a note. Then he's back. He doesn't know Strassen's number. The guy doesn't trust the press, remember? But Collins talks to everyone. I have his number right here. We could call him, you say. He likes to talk. But this other guy, Strassen, is the main conspirator. How can we get his number? Why don't we ask him for it, Corey says. The town council is voting on the mall tonight, right? I bet Strassen's going to be there. We should show up a little early, and when Strassen's about to go into the meeting, we ask to interview him. He won't want to talk to us right then. He'll be in a big hurry. So we'll ask to call him tomorrow. Go on to the next page. It could work, you say slowly. Of course it could, says Corey. Why would he be suspicious of 3 kids? I don't know, says Kate. It sounds like a lot of trouble, but we can just call this Collins guy instead. She looks at you. What do you think we should do? They're always asking you what they should do. We can't decide what to do. You decide for us. You're like 5 years old. Yeah, it's right now. It's our old ballpark where we play ball, and now it's going to be a mall. We don't talk about it with you, okay? You don't talk to us. Oh, the do not call registry used to be basic etiquette. Yeah. Narrator voice, but it was not a great idea. If you suggest calling Councilman Collins, turn to page 90. If you decide to approach Strawson, turn to page 116. Call Collins? Yeah, I think we'll have a better chance of calling Collins than having Strawson talk to us. Oh, Strawson, we want to talk to you. Not right now, kid. Get out of my way. I want to talk to you. Collins. Call-ins. Call Collins. Rachel says, multiple telephones. So, call Collins. Yes. I think we need to call Collins. Anyone else think we should call Collins? Yeah, we'll call Collins. Okay. Page 90. Turn to page 90. The next morning, you and your friends prepared to telephone Councilman Collins from Kate's basement. Though you are disturbed by the town council's vote of the previous evening to approve the Maple Grove Mall, you are determined to press on with your investigation. The air in Kate's basement is cool. The walls are lined with knotty pine paneling. On a bumper pool table in the middle of the room, Kate has set up a piece of plywood that holds a wideband radio receiver and a small cassette tape recorder. Next to the recorder is a small toggle switch. After checking the equipment, Kate turns on her stool and takes off her headphones. I'm ready, she says. Go up and call. You and Corey walk up the wooden stairs while Kate puts the headphones back on. You pick up the phone in Kate's kitchen. Corey sits beside you with a list of questions. A small homemade box that holds a flashlight bulb is sitting on the counter beside you. A wire runs from the box down the basement stairs. When you dial the number for Collins' cellular phone, a gravelly, cheerful voice answers. Yeah. Hello, Mr. Collins? That's me. Who is this? You tell him your name. Mr. Collins, I'm doing a story for the Grant Shire Observer about the Maple Grove Mall. I'd like my story to answer the questions that kids in town are asking. Well, there we are going up the stairs from her wood-paneled basement. She looks pretty happy to be using her equipment there. Okay, turn to page 12. We will probably just become journalists. At the very end, it'll be like, we're all going into journalism. The town gives us a reward. It's a full scholarship to journalism school. That's what I could have used in 1993. That would have helped. All right, page 12. That's a terrific idea, says Collins. Let me tell you, this mall is going to be heaven for young people. It'll be full of great stuff. You know what I'm saying? What kinds of great stuff, you ask? Oh, like a pizza parlor, a video arcade, a record store, 3 discount fashion outlets. I can't even remember everything. They are even thinking of building a skateboarding area in the parking lot. A skateboarding area? That's unusual. Could you tell me more about it? Sure, says Collins. The people who are building this mall are very interested in attracting young people, and that means skateboards. So rather than have skateboarding be a problem, you cover the phone with your palm. He's a real talker, you whisper. Corey nods and rolls his eyes. As Collins talks on, you both watch the homemade box with the flashlight bulb. A couple of questions and long answers later, the bulb finally flicks on. Corey gives you a thumbs up. You know the light means that Kate has picked up Collins' frequency. On to page 96. Auntie Ants. Oh, what's it? Whoa, what's this about huge cookies with thick icing on them? Did I miss that?
Big cup. About how we want to eat mall food.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember going to the mall court. There was the one mall I used to go to most of all was, well, there were two malls. There was a mall up in New Hampshire, the Pheasant Lane Mall, which you'd go to because, like, you know, it was tax-free. You know, go there when I was a kid. And then the Burlington Mall. The two malls I went to the most. Page 96. Oh, and then the Pheasant Lane Mall had a video game arcade. I'm sure that's long gone. Page 96. The Burlington Mall was my mall. That was a pretty good mall. I remember when the mall had a movie theater. The movie theater was in the mall, and then they built a movie theater across the street.
Come on, baby.
But before that movie theater was built across the street, there was actually one in the mall. But you couldn't get to it from the mall. You had to go out of the mall and then go. And the movie theater had like its own. And okay, sorry. God, I'm getting nostalgic about the Burlington Mall. I'm sorry. Maybe we did. Sweatpants hanging out to Sam Goody. Well, I thought you looked familiar when when we first met you. No. Yeah. No, I used to go to the mall a lot. That mall. Anyways. Okay. You wrap up the interview, and then the waiting begins. You and Corey head back downstairs. Kate is putting away the wideband receiver and setting up a modern scanner. She sets it to search a section of the dial around Collins' frequency. For hours, you and Corey lounge around, listening, while Kate sits ready to flick the cassette machine to record. You hear several cellular phone calls, but none made by Collins. So you're just like eavesdropping on like other just random people's cellular phone calls. That's pretty good. More hours pass. You flip through magazine after magazine. You're beginning to think this isn't going to work when suddenly you hear Collins' voice say, "Hello, Mr. Strawson. Good to hear from you." Kate starts the recordo. "Bingo," she whispers. "Right, tonight," Collins says. 11, sure. "Where?" "Parson and Coolidge. By the lot. Got it. I'll come on foot." "That's fine. See you then." There's a click as Collins hangs up. Kate switches off the recorder. "Parson Street and Coolidge. That's the edge of the old ballpark," she says. "Guess we know that terrain," Corey adds. "What's next?" Kate has a cool basement. Well, it is cool. It's like literally cool down there. Oh, you mean cool like... It is good. It also is it's a cool basement and also a cool basement. Yeah, that was the thing back then. Wood paneled basements. They were like totally. That was definitely the fashion. Debbie Gibson, only in my dreams. Sam Goody. Yeah, there was a Sam Goody there in the mall. I'm pretty sure. I remember when the mall had a new bookstore that opened. It was like right near the food court. It was right below the food court, and that was like near the food court. I remember like they just opened the bookstore and like it was like jam packed. Like everyone was in there. You couldn't even like. It was like hard to like walk through all the crowds. Can you imagine that going to like a bookstore now and having to like fight through all the crowds? Kate walks over to a wall of metal shelves crammed with gadgets. She pulls out a long-handled microphone and a camera with built-in flash. "Corey," she says, "this is a telescope mic. It'll pick up a conversation up to 20 feet away, 25 feet away. You use it, and I'll run the cassette recorder." She hands you the camera. "You get the dangerous job." You nod. To get the proof you need, you're going to have to take at least one picture, and that'll mean using the flash. You mean the Flash, like from DC Comics? That Flash? Yeah, plenty of room in the bookstores here. Like we went to a Barnes & Noble like last week, and it was not crowded. Kind of sad. Later that night, you, Corey, and Kate are all at the old ballpark, dressed in black. Each of you grips your piece of equipment as you crouch behind some bushes along the edge of the lot. The hot flash. I use the flash too. The flash. The hot flash. The flash. At 2 minutes before 11, a black car cruises up Coolidge Avenue and turns right onto Parsons Street. It noses towards the sidewalk and stops on the other side of the bushes you're hiding behind. Corey slowly raises his microphone. A man comes striding up Parsons Street and stops behind the black car. It's Councilman Collins. The driver's window whirs down, and you recognize Gil Strassen inside. Oh, we finally know his last name. Or sorry, his first name. All this time he's just been Strassen. "Mission accomplished," Collins says. "Good job," says Strassen. He holds out a thick manila envelope. "Here's the final payment." 20,000? It's all there. At the moment Collins takes the envelope, you hop up and press the shutter button. The flash catches both men looking at the camera, startled, their eyes on the envelope, their hands on the envelope. You and your friends turn and run for your lives. And there's the front cover. Guy. Wait, why is he on the driver's side? So who's driving the car then? Interesting. So he has an accomplice then that we never learn about. Well, there's that picture. It's very busy. And there's the two dudes. And there's I guess Kate. And I guess that's us. No, maybe that's our friend Corey. And then that's us. Why are we like smiling? Yay! They might grab us and kill us. Yay! Turn to page 100. Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, there actually was like the cover actually featured in the story for once. Stephanie, that's crazy. I was thinking that, like, I mean, if we were like in England, or if it was like British, then yeah, that would be the driver's side. But the twist is that he's driving a British car for some reason. We are blonde. Oh, we're blonde? Of course. Oh, yeah, because we're holding the camera, right. Because we took the photo. All right. Page 100. That's not page 100. The two men shove through the bushes in pursuit. You hear them pounding after you as you head for the opening between two clumps of birches. Reaching the opening, you hop slightly. So do your friends. The two men are right behind you now. Sprinting desperately, they reach the opening and the dark wire you've strung between the twin clumps of trees. Oh, you set up a trip wire? Oh my god. You hear sharp cries of pain as the men hit the ground, hard. They howl and curse as you and your friends disappear into a grove of trees. You veer apart and sprint along well-known paths as planned, each of you going a separate way. You come out on Coolidge Avenue and dash across. Reaching the buildings on the other side, you turn quickly. Dashing behind an auto repair shop, you cross the train tracks and hop a fence. Soon you're back in your own familiar neighborhood. A few minutes later, you're lifting the metal door that leads from Kate's backyard to her basement. already waiting in the darkness down below. Corey grins up at you. A moment later, you hear Kate's running sneakers. You lift the door. She climbs down. I guess you got it, she says to you. You hold up the camera. Sure did. She pulls a cassette out of her pocket and smiles. So did I. Turn to page 77. That Thursday, the photo you took is spread across the front page of the Grantshire Observer. Above it is the headline, Councilman caught in bribery scheme. Mall plan was core of corruption. In the newspaper's crammed and messy office, Lou Millman hands you and your friends some extra copies. The FBI picked up Collins and Strassen last night, he tells you. They're about to announce some more arrests. I'm off to cover it. He heads out the door and then stops. You three did an incredible job, he says. I guess you'll be heroes in school. I bet we won't, you say. A lot of kids really wanted that mall. Well, personally, I'm glad to see the Cairo Corporation run out of town, Millman says. And I promise you, the Grantshire Observer will get that scraggly lot turned into a proper ballpark. Can we do a story about it, you ask? Are you kidding? You three are the best reporters I've ever had. Okay. I mean, it's a small town, like, up in Vermont, so, I mean, that's not totally implausible. It might be. I mean, there are some, like, small towns in Vermont.
I know.
I went to Vermont a lot as a kid, so that's not totally out of the question. The end. Wow, we're the best reporters he's ever had. That's saying something, man. Maybe he just started on that job. So yeah, that's the joke, is that he just started working there like a week ago. So, and he's the only reporter. So now, yeah. Sure to think what's the quality of this paper? Yeah. It's probably like literally like one page. Well, maybe 2 pages since it does have a front page. So since it has a front page, it couldn't be the only page. Maybe it has 2 pages. Yeah, now we're really reporters. They should have like a second book where like now we're like officially reporters in Grantshire. I wonder if they did a sequel to this book. It'd be funny if they did. Man, I think it's the first time I've read a book that like takes place where it takes place in Vermont. I think it's the only one that maybe it's the only Choose Your Own Adventure that takes place in Vermont. Funny though that like your team is still the Boston Red Sox, because like it's not like in New England that's the only baseball team. So like you could be in like Maine or something and you're ready for the Boston Red Sox. You're in New Hampshire. You're Red Sox fan. Anyways, he's just had really really bad luck. Oh man. Yeah, it will be at school. Like, yeah, I should probably not mention that we're the ones that I made it so that there's not going to be a mall. Come to think of it, there's like not a lot of malls in Vermont probably. Like I went to Montpelier a lot, and there's no malls in Montpelier, Vermont. Probably Burlington, Vermont. They have a sort of a mall, I guess. That's probably the closest thing to a city in Vermont is Burlington. Yeah. Anyways, well, this was fun. I wish there'd been like more like Vermont stuff. That would have been kind of funny. Well, there's like a lot of stuff here that we never even got into. But this is probably like the best ending we could possibly get. Well, and the funniest thing is this never involved the police. Like it seems like every story like this, like the police get involved at some point. Oh, there's one in Rutland, Vermont. Yeah, we would like to take. We were going to do this, and then like COVID happened, but we wanted to take an Amtrak train. There's an Amtrak line that goes all the way from Philadelphia to Burlington, Vermont. Seems like that would be like a nice scenic ride, like a nice long train ride. Nice to do that someday. Kind of like that train ride we took to what was that at the end of the line in Maine? What was that place? Oh, I forgot. Well, it's whatever. It's the Brunswick. That's right, Brunswick. That was fun.
We didn't go all the way to the end though. I thought we went second to the end.
Oh, okay. I know. You know, it was the end. You know why I know?
Why?
So I remember we got off the tracks, right?
Yeah.
And you could see the tracks actually ending.
Oh.
Like they like literally like the tracks like ended right there.
Okay.
Pretty sure. Philly to Boston. Well, we did Philly to Boston several times. That's for sure. Yeah. Now that maybe you know if COVID gets better, or it's getting better, and hopefully if it stays that way, we'll take more train rides. I'd rather take a train than drive a car, but you know, can't always do that. But yeah, this was fun. I had a good time with this one. Pretty hilarious. I'm already starting to run out of books. Time to get some more books. Yeah, not as good as War with the Mutant Spider Ants. Like that one was the best, but it's not bad. No, nothing too crazy. You know, you have to like kind of alternate between the crazy, you know, mutant spider ants and then stuff that's like more like down to earth. Quicksand. Oh, you're welcome, Sue. Bye. All right. Well, yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I guess I'll stop here. And next week, yeah, I don't know what I'll be reading next week. I actually if I get some of those like, very sad to miss the mutant spider ants. Yeah, that was a fun one, Stephanie. Yeah, see your poison ivy. Yeah, look at this. I got like, it's pretty bad. I got like this poison ivy here, and here, and then I like cut my hand a little bit. It's not too bad. That's why I'm wearing a band-aid. That just happened today. So, anyways, oh, you're welcome, Stephanie. All right, well, I guess I'll take off then, everybody, and you're welcome, Rachel. Yeah, and see you all in a week. Take care. Bye now.